What a night for Rob McCray, huh? That was awesome to be a part of. There was, you know, a lot of emotions, not just for me, but for our staff coming into this game. We've been working so hard for these last few months, getting these guys ready to play. There's still so much room to grow, but for our opening night, for our starting point guard, who's a senior, and some people don't even consider him a point guard. A lot of people coming out of Jacksonville thought he was more of a shooting guard. For him to put on that display, you know, the 17 assists, the way he broke down the game, more impressively, only 2 turnovers. You know, it's hard to share the ball the way he did and not turn the ball over. I don't care who you're playing. So, what a special night for him. I also believe Chanty Wiggins set his career high in points. I didn't know that in the locker room, so I didn't give him any credit for it, but wanted to shout him out with the very efficient, you know, 3 for 8 from 3. I think it's 50% from the field, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. A very efficient game. I'm more pleased with the 5 rebounds. It's something we've been demanding of Chauncey, especially when we go small, is for Chauncey to rebound the ball. And I think he had 5 of them. And I think he can get to 7 or 8 a game. And to me, he's going to show up on some NBA draft boards. So both those guys in full team effort. I mean, you go down the list. LeJay Jones had an incredible game, super efficient, 7 for 10, you know, 2 for 3 from 3. There's so many guys to mention, but the focus should be on Rob McCray and the way he managed that game. That was truly special to watch.
Did you guys know that about him before you got him, or is it something you saw once you got him?
Yeah, we felt it right away that he could pass better than we thought, and he's always been a score-first guy, but he would make plays in our scrimmages and in our live sessions that everyone kind of took a step back and said, wow, this guy has a real knack for finding the open guy. Coaches sometimes get in the way of players, knowing that Rob's a left-handed player. We kept trying to send him left, and he's actually right-handed. He just shoots the basketball left hand. So once we figured that out, we're like, Rob, feel free to tell us that next time. But we kept drawing all these plays for him to go left, and he had a lot of turnovers. And then we figured out he's actually more comfortable going right and passing right. All of a sudden, we look like geniuses, and he looks like a better player.
Chauncey was 4 of 6 inside. Just his willingness to work downhill, get to the rack, and do things there. You know he can shoot, but how happy were you with the fact that he also did that?
Yeah, I was really pleased with Chauncey's overall game. There was one shot he shot, and he was open, but it was like an 18-foot midi in the second half that I almost had an aneurysm, and he immediately turned to me and apologized because he knows, like, we're looking for the best shot possible, and that's usually not it. But other than that single shot, I thought Chauncey had an unbelievable game for us. Like you said, he has size, but he has skill, and he's smart, and he's a senior, and all those things bode well for us. We need that experience. We need his versatility. We put him at the 5 at times. His pick and pop was great. A couple top of the key threes, and then off the ball as a 4 and a wing. Even as a 3, we would slide him down at times. I just thought he and LeJay had a really solid game as our senior guys on the wings.
Both Cam and Tomas, just for being freshmen, adapting to this level, getting early contributions. What do you see from them?
Yeah, Cam and Tomas, which I learned recently too, that it's Thomas in French. The S is silent, and I didn't know that. He said I could just call him Thomas because I'm an American, so I'm gonna keep calling him Thomas, but it's actually Thomas if you wanna. Yeah, croissant. Thomas and Cam have an unbelievable confidence in what they can bring to the game, which is not usual for freshmen. Usually freshmen, and again, I don't care who the opponent are, have those jitters and they believe in what they can bring, which makes them very valuable. Now, their confidence also gets them in trouble sometimes, which is part of it. I would way rather have to turn down someone's volume than try to turn it up. So I'm gonna keep playing them. I'm gonna keep playing them and let them play through mistakes. And I think they're going to help us win a lot of games. They come in and you can immediately feel a boost of energy and the youthfulness, and they're flying around making plays, sometimes good and sometimes bad, but you feel them. And that's all I'm asking for those guys is to come in, have great energy, guard the ball, you know, make it difficult on the offense to have rhythm, and then offensively just make the simple play over and over again. So I think both those guys did a really good job tonight.
What can you say about the crowd? I noticed student section behind the basket. I noticed an Instagram post talking about What can you say about trying to get students engaged and attending these games?
Yeah, I think number one, I appreciate all the fans coming tonight. To me, you have to build it and you have to win games, and then people are going to want to show up. But there's a room to grow. Just like our team has room to grow, I have room to grow as a coach. We have to have a better home environment, and that starts with people coming to the games. It's as simple as that. And that'll happen naturally as we continue to win and build this program. But part of it, I'm not afraid to think outside the box. As you guys know, on the court, off the court, I want to incentivize students to show up and have a good time and support us. My job's a lot easier. Our players' jobs are a lot easier when there's a ton of people in the stands. I think it's going to take some time to build this in a lot of different areas. But I am very adamant that we can have one of the best home court environments in the country. You guys see it with the football games. I felt it as a player here. When you win, they show up, and it's unbelievably hard for the opponent to come in and play in that environment. I see it all around college basketball, and if other schools, especially other football schools, can have an unbelievable basketball environment, I think we can too. So that's something I'm going to continue to put some time and energy in, and come up with ideas to get students, not just students, it doesn't just end with students, get the community to come to our games and support us.
Overall thoughts on the defensive effort. It seemed like Alcorn hit a lot of tough jumpers.
Yeah, no, they hit a lot of tough shots. Alcorn State's they're going to be a decent team in their conference. I think Jake Morgan's doing a great job over there. Our defense has got to get better. Our players know it. There was too many times where, and we're going to speed teams up. I'm okay with a little gambling. I'm okay, and you guys see it, some run and jump, some traps, but the play doesn't end when they break our trap. The play ends with either a contested shot or a rebound, And tonight I felt like there was too many possessions where they shot uncontested shot. I don't care where it came from. I don't care if it was midi, 3-point layup. There was too many times. We just didn't contest their looks, which is on us in an area we need to improve.
They got 6 offensive rebounds on 14 missed shots in the second half. Is that an area that you're
Is that a good thing?
Are y'all gonna have to battle with that just due to the size and kind of a guard heavy or wing heavy lineup this year?
Yeah, we're not going to be the biggest team in the country. I don't have the typical Leonard Hamilton 4 7-footers waiting to come in the game. Our team was built for speed. Our team was built to be an offensive power, but that doesn't mean we can't be good defensively, and we have to finish possessions. If we're giving, I don't care who it is, if we're giving teams multiple looks at the basket, we're going to struggle, and especially against the big teams, we're going to struggle to win games. So some of it comes from size. I don't like to give our guys any excuses. A lot of rebounding is just effort and focus. And there was too many times the shot went up, and you guys will see it, and our teams are going to see it when we watch film. The shot goes up, and we're tracing the ball instead of tracing our guy and boxing someone out. Our rebounding will get better. I have a ton of faith in Gerald Gillian. To me, he's one of the best defensive coaches in his teams at Chicago State as a head coach. We're incredible defensively. He's been a lot of different places for a lot of different head coaches that have had incredible defenses. I like what he's doing in terms of our aggressiveness, but he's also aware of what we need to clean up, and I have full faith that he's going to get our guys moving in the right direction.
Obviously a career night for both McCray and Wiggins, and of course the rest of your starting 5, including Jay. How important is it for this team to have more than one viable number 1 option?
Yeah, I love the depth of our team in particular. We had a reporter, I forget who it was, asked me who my go-to guy was, and the easy answer would be Rob McCray because he has the ball a lot and he's our lead guard. But I told him I feel like I have 4 or 5 options that on any given night can lead us in scoring, which to me are the most dangerous teams, especially when you approach postseason play, which is where we want to go. When you just have one guy that's your go-to guy and he's averaging 30 a game, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to game plan against just that one guy, and you're almost trying to force other guys to step up, right? When teams game plan against us, they're going to have a lot of different options to worry about, and a lot of that was by design. Our offense is based on creating efficient shots, and it doesn't matter who it is. If you're on the court and you get an open shot, to me, you got to shoot it. And so there's going to be a lot of different nights where a lot of different guys lead us in scoring.
it's one thing to have the ability to pass and the vision, but to the willingness. I mean, he's a guy that was a volume scorer and he took 5 shots tonight. I mean, is that something that you've seen him just enjoying that role as preseason went through?
Yeah, I think Rob's still going to have nights where he goes for 25 to 30 points. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that he could pass at that. I knew he was a talented passer and I knew he could do a lot of different things. That was really impressive. And I think for some of it, it's been one of our focuses for Rob to be a leader. And some of that is vocally. He's a quiet kid, but he leads by example. But some of that, we need these seniors to step up and lead the team. And I thought that, to me, that was a statement game for Rob to show that he wants to play in the NBA someday. And if he wants to play in the NBA, he's going to have to learn the point guard position, which tonight he showed that. I mean, that was one of the more impressive point guard showings that I've seen in years. I don't care what level. If you get 17 assists and have 2 turnovers, that's a statement that I can play this position. I can play at the highest level.
You know, you talked about it after the FAMU game, but this is the first official one for you on the sidelines. Again, back in the tuck. I know you said last time once the ball was tipped off, you kind of locked in. But did you give yourself a moment to be like, man, this is what I worked for, and this is where I'm at?
Not really. It was fun being back on the sidelines. Obviously, it's very meaningful for me to lead this program. I said before the game, I never want any of this to be about me, and I don't want the focus to be on me. I know it will be because it's part of the job, but I want the focus to be on our players and our team and their success. I'm just here, and our staff's just here to help them out. But yeah, obviously there was some emotions playing here and coming back. Having my family at the game, having my parents, my wife's parents, those are the things, obviously, for them to experience and my kids to be up in the stands. It's pretty cool, and I want them to understand how cool and important this place is athletically and the meaning behind it, because I had that as a kid growing up cheering for Florida State. But this isn't about me or me coaching or me running the team. This is about our guys, hopefully their improvement as individuals and as a team. And the thing that would make me most happy is to bring a winning brand of basketball back to Florida State.
Good.
It seemed pretty cool for Jaylen to knock down the record-setting 3. How long have you known him since you?
I've known Jaylen, I think, since he was 1 or 2 years old. When I got here in 2008, even when I came on my recruiting, I think he was born in 06. I could be wrong, but since he was tiny toddler, I've known his dad. His dad's been an important part of my life as someone who played here, someone who's been very successful in the community. But it was like a hallmark moment. For Rob to find Jaylen, a hometown kid that grew up, cheering on Florida State, and a lot of pressure for a walk-on to have that, record-setting moment that if he misses, everyone feels like you let him down, right? He had the record and you let him. But for him to step up and make that, it was awesome. I felt like the whole thing was in slow motion. I saw it developing. I'm like, oh, Jaylen's going to end up with this. Oh my gosh. And to his credit, he stepped up like he meant business and knocked that shot down. And what a cool moment for him and Rob. And Adrian. Yeah, and Adrian. That's right.
You planning to wear the suit every time out?
Every time at home, we're gonna dress up a little bit at home. I hate traveling with the suit, so selfishly, we're gonna dress down on the road. But it was something important to me and some other people in our administration that. And I don't really believe in like you got to look the part, but I do. When I grow up and looked at head coaches, they all wore suits and they all looked great on the sidelines. All of my mentors wore suits. When I got in the NBA into coaching, everyone wore suits. I know COVID happened and everyone got a little more relaxed, but it's important for me and our staff to represent our university the right way. And I think part of that is just dressing up and looking good and showing the crowd that even though it's a little extra effort, that we're going to do everything possible to bring this program back to where I think it needs to be. And one last thing, when we were talking about it as a staff, we were pretty split. I won't say which side I was on, but someone in one of our lower staff, I forget who it was, looked up all the coaches that wore suits, and didn't have to be tied, but wore suits the last few years since it got more relaxed. And almost every single one of them had a winning record. And I was like, you know what, we're doing it.
Anybody else said?
Appreciate you guys.